Prepares us for a higher journey. That is what is happening. So if you read the first paragraph, the last week what we did, that we understood that sadhana, the practice, means approaching near to the self. So now the mind is approaching near to the self. It has started turning inward. The moment it turns inward, then see what happens. Everything is happening in the world. It may be the craziest thing is happening in the world. It doesn't affect you. It may happen in your family. It may happen in your personal life. It may happen with reference to the money and the physical challenges. But the mind is facing inside. So what is happening? We discussed about wrong notions and the wrong thinking. They do not enter into your mind. But we need to strengthen and settle that four connections are not only understood correctly, but it is also applied in daily life. So the mind is facing to the self. That is why you felt so good. No wrong notion. You just told me, oh, that is done. I will join the party. Finished. But otherwise what happens? No, it's my party. It's my party. You know what we have to do. Last week my wife also had a party. 40 people joining. And I could see her doing all sorts of things. No, why don't you do this? I said, let me do it. Finish. Let me do it. So we should not be affected, dictated, governed by the wrong notion. To settle in that wrong notion, we have four connections. And the first connection is becoming a qualified seeker. And when the mind is facing to the world outside, seeking desire, fulfillment, projecting happiness and peace there, creates the wrong notion. So initially I started there, here are the wrong notions, here is the wrong thinking, that causes the anxiety and the stress, but now we are going to the root of it. The mind is facing outside. That mind goes through the sense organ, it creates likes and dislikes, and we are now governed by the likes and dislikes. This governing by the likes and dislikes, Lois, why don't you do this? No, you should have done this. This is right and the wrong. Come on. You are not the executive head of the world who shows the path, who is right and wrong. I never say anything even at my house, unless someone asks me. So that gives them an ample freedom to learn from their mistakes and to learn from their experiences. I'm pointing you, so to maintain that awareness. Oh, listen, I have done wrong. Oh, that's okay. Now I know you are intelligent, you will improve. Mind is facing to the self. You don't create any wrong notion. Everyone does wrong. Everyone does mistake. Human is to err. So we take the world lightly. First connection. So what is going to happen? That is going to remove the wrong notions, the past impressions that is stored in the memory bank. And that gives you an ample freedom. This is what happened for last week. So that sense of freedom you experience because the mind was consciously facing to the self. It drops all the wrong notions. Oh, I don't have money. Let me work hard. I'll get the money. Maybe little or more. It's not that, I'm a freelancer. So every week, if I create a desire, I must have this much of earning. Not possible. So right notion, keep the right notion. It will happen. Why? I'm ready to work hard. There is a sense of integrity, so there is no fear. There is a sense of honesty, and I have a right knowledge. That's what I have been doing for the last 40 years. One nurse from New Jersey, who met me, and so 2 months before, he has attended many programs and workshops, and he always enjoyed. So he loves me, and so he called me and said, "No, I'll have a weekly session with you," and I said, "Okay." So every week he was saying that he goes back to the home and he opens whiskey. Okay, if you're taking wine, I can say okay. An occasional wine, it's okay. Otherwise, it makes your mind unconscious and your mind returns to the wrong notion. So after 3 weeks, I said, "I'm done. I will not guide you." Because you want to continue with that whiskey so that you fall into unconsciousness, and you told me that you have bad dreams, and only 1 hour a week you are doing a practice. And after a few months you will complain me. This is a journey where you don't depend on anything outside. Doing it occasional, it's okay. So you will not guide me? I said, "No. Until you prepare yourself that this whiskey should not be attached to you. This is a wrong notion. But I take it and I sleep well so that I'm ready to go for a work. I have to work for late hours." I said, all these practices is going to help you. Will give you a new perspective of life. But you don't want. So these two things cannot go together. Still I say that your happiness is not dependent on anything outside, whether you take it or you don't take it. So first you reach to that state, then take whiskey. I'm okay with it. But you are doing the opposite things, wrong notion. So that needs to be properly understood. Now apply that in human relationship. I'm your mom, you should listen to me. This is almost taking like a whiskey. Why you get obsessed with it? Well, the other guy knows that you are his or her mom. You don't need to put it wrong. No sticker here in the signboard. We'll drop that. So this is also a wrong notion. Now see that what happens, that how the mind should continue to face to the self. We should remember the goal of life is to bring an end to the suffering. That is the goal of life. Everyone is a seeker of happiness. So can I express happiness in my thought, speech and action, bypassing all the wrong notion? No, we may have strong reservation about person A and the person B. Drop this. This is also a wrong notion. And you will see that, you will start flying into the sky with that ample freedom. Today you do it, just live it. Greet everyone. See that happiness is inside and peace inside, and express yourself. That is also a practice. So goal of life, common goal of life. We are seekers of happiness. First, the mind is always looking to bring an end to the suffering. Always looking. We think, we speak, we act, we live in order to bring an end to the suffering. We need not to avoid it. We need not to ignore it. When the mind is facing inside, the goal of life is clear. We are on a right path. So the third connection is that I should maintain my awareness. Who am I? I'm not a mother. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a son. I'm not a father. Pay attention to this fact, and from there the wrong notions are created. What exactly is identity? What is that identity? What does it mean by our identity? The identity is a fact. It is a fact seen by the sense organ, processed by the mind. That is how you say you are a businesswoman. That is how the identity of being a mentor and a guide. That is how the identity of being a mother, son, father, daughter. Now there is a catch here. What is that catch? Because these sense organ and the mind cannot find my true nature. The mind is going outside. It perceives, say for example, Lois. The mind takes for granted that I am the mother and she is the daughter. Natural, habitual. So first this identification takes place, and then the past impression returns. Identifying with the mother, you are born and brought up, I have taken care of you, hence you should listen to me. It is not happening consciously, but it is happening habitually. Apply this in the same way. I am a consumer. You go to the cashier, I am a consumer, you should return this. Why should I start fighting? There is no need. The cashier knows you are a consumer. Now see that. Here the wrong notion. With the idea of anger, with the anxiety, with the ego takes shape. So that who am I, which is being identified with these different labels outside, need to be dropped, and the mind should identify itself to be a seeker. I am a seeker of peace and happiness, so then what? I am talking to a cashier, so I will talk in peace and happiness. Here is the problem. That's why I am returning. I see a lot of people in different stores and they start fighting. And there is a sense of anger and hesitation. They stop at a red light and they start hammering the steering. It is all with the wrong notion. They are already into anxiety. There is no need. See that who am I? I am identifying myself as a seeker. So you may think you may give me a label as a mentor and a guide, but I am still a seeker. It helps me all the time to help others to evolve. So three things. First is being a qualified seeker. Second is clarity. What is the second? The goal is to bring an end to the suffering from life forever. The suffering should not touch me. That is what is known as awakening. That is what is known as enlightenment. Buddha took many years meeting different masters before he met the last master, whose name is Alar Kalam. So based on his experiences, he realized that now he has become a seeker. So when you become a perfect seeker, the journey is almost complete. Journey is almost complete. And that's how after 13 years, he met many masters, he got frustrated, he continued suffering, he did all the practices, nothing happened. He did austerity even on one foot for 7 days, sometimes 12 days. He stopped eating food for 30 days. And he said that is how it will happen. But something happened to him when a beautiful girl offered him a food. So he was with at least 10 of his friends who were also doing the austerity. All the 9 refused, he accepted. And then he sat under a tree and he realized that I need not to torture the body to experience the peace. He became a seeker. The mind was facing inside. And Alar Kalam met and he got it. So we say, no, mindfulness is effortless, natural practice. Close your eyes, focus on the breath. Come on, look at the Buddha, how he achieved that. You have to look at his entire life. After reaching at that higher stage, he says, just close your eyes and look at the breath. But are you there? Then only you can follow that practice. Otherwise, there is no way. You see that it's all becoming a secret. Every master has to do the same thing. The first, qualified seeker, second is the goal, and the third is subject. Who am I? Wrong identification, wrong thinking, wrong notion, wrong action, and leads to anxiety, stress, duality, and suffering. So how these three factors connects to the principles of the Eastern wisdom needs to be realized, understood, applied in daily life. So it is the knowledge, again see the knowledge of the Eastern wisdom as discovered and tested by these great masters, applied in becoming a qualified seeker, and applied to know the goal of life, applied in understanding and discovering who truly I am. Leaves all the wrong notions from the life. The wrong notions goes away. I wake up in the morning, first thing, who am I? I am the real self. Where is the real self? That expresses and manifests in peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. Then I ask myself, does your mind, my mind, are you going back to the old stuff? Do you have any grudge against anyone? Do you play with the strong likes and dislikes? The answer is no, because the mind is facing to the self. Within minutes you are absorbed into a deep meditation. I got one thought. The way we clean the dust every day, same way the seeker has to clean the dust on the mind every day. Because the world outside is constantly changing. Today your kids comes and they hug you, you are the best mom, and the next day they say, no, you are crazy. But this is happening in the world outside. I'm clear. My goal is to know who am I. Applied in, so it drops the identity. Yes. Oh. He or she is reacting to a mom. But first, I am different from the mom. Mom is a label. Mom is a label. I think I have specifically written. No, I kept in my mind. So what is that? The identity means the fact of being a mother understood by the society, processed by the mind, observed by the sense organs. I say, just take an example, I look at you. So what the mind says? Nancy. Nancy is his name. No, but who exactly is Nancy? Is a woman. So another identity comes. Now see, women is also an identity. Behind that woman, you are a human being. Can I see you as a human being? And when I see you as a human being, I instantly realizes that the human being is a seeker of peace and happiness. I know the human being, true nature, is full of peace and happiness. No, but Nancy becomes angry. oh, this is how she is searching peace and happiness. So as a seeker, I have to correct it. And that's the role of a mentor and a guide comes. So I keep looking and seeing and witnessing that you as a human being are a seeker of peace and happiness. And deeper inside you are still a seeker. And deep inside your true nature is peace and happiness. Outside anxiety. So what I did, I left the anxiety. I didn't talk about your anxiety and duality and a conflict. Only in first 2 or 3 sessions. My goal was to help you realize your own inner self. And that is where the 4 connection works. From the next week we'll pick up return to the Viveka. The 4-fold practices helps you reach to the highest level of the seeker. You become, the moment you are 100% seeker, the journey is very natural. It is effortless. Even the thoughts related to the wrong notion moves your mind, but you know how to drop it, how to dissolve it, how to destroy it. That is very important. This session, this week talk and the last